Hey, Beady Besties. Happy Monday, my loves. Happy Monday. I hope you had a wonderful Monday, and I hope you had a really fantastic weekend. You guys, I had a great weekend. It was fun. We were busy. We were doing lives and hanging out with Beady Besties, and it was just the best. Yeah, and then so today's Monday, but that doesn't mean it has to be a bad day, guys. I hope you did not have a case of the Mondays, but in case you did, let's read a card, and hopefully it will help. It will also help that Monday is hopefully almost over wherever you are. All right. Today's wisdom. In thickest darkness, the stars shine the brightest. Look at that. And I actually think we got two cards here. Oh, no, it's one. I thought maybe there was another one stuck to it. I said, we'll read that one too. That's beautiful. All right, friends. So how are you guys? So did you guys get a chance to tune into Stash Camp a little bit? We had Stash Camp on Sunday. And in accordance with Stash Camp, we're also following the Joyful Beading prompts over there at the Softflex. Guys, I'll leave all the VIB group and all that. I'll leave that in the description box so you guys can go over there and participate. There's a calendar. There's like a calendar that has daily prompts on it, and you just follow that and you post your pictures in the VIB group. They're picking 3 winners at the end of this, and I think you win $25. I think a $25 gift certificate. Hold on one second, friends. Sorry, I had to cough, and I was like, I was trying not to cough when I was talking, but I was like, Call, if you don't cough soon, you might, it might not be good. So anyway, guys, yeah. So today's prompt, and I believe today is the first day of Joyful Beading because it's only on, Monday through Friday. So Saturday and Sunday we're not. So today is the first day, is what I'm trying to say, not so eloquently. But so today's prompt is make jewelry with mixed metals. I think that's the prompt. I don't know if that's the prompt word for word, but yeah, design something with mixed metals or some such. So you guys, I don't know who it was. I don't know if, I think it was Jody, but I'm not 100% sure. Somebody made a bolo necklace, or they were talking about making a bolo necklace, guys. And I know it was just yesterday, and I honestly don't remember if someone made a bolo necklace, but somebody was talking about it. Anywho's, I decided, oh, that sounds like a fun project, especially for silver silk, right? So I was devising in my mind how to do a bolo style earring. And so I came up with a little something that I think hits all the challenges. I'm going to bring that in right here. So we made this little bolo earring. And so like if you guys, a bolo style necklace, so it kind of has that, that big loop. So this would be the necklace, and then it has our, a lot of times with the bolo necklaces, you'll have a nice little metal piece right there. And then, you have your little bolos. So we are using 4 different tones of metal. So here with the ear wire, we're using antique copper. We are using bright copper crimp tubes. We're using a silver. Let me focus y'all in. Here we go. We are using, this is from the JJB Pony Express. And then we are using bronze feathers, antique bronze, antique brass, whichever you call that. So we're actually hitting 4 different tones of metal. And I think that's pretty cool. And I think this is, the ear wire is kind of like this, but I think because of the dangles and all this, the gravity will hold this in place. So I think that'll be okay. So guys, let's make this. So what you're going to need, and it works up rather quickly, which I like. So we're going to have a short project today for a change. It is crimp heavy though, guys. So if you're looking for a project to kind of help you beef up your crimping, this is a good one because each earring there's 4 spots of crimping. So you're going to need 8 tubes. You're going to need a couple. These are 4mm jump rings. Now you don't have to. You can just crimp whatever you're crimping on the end. You can just crimp that right onto the loops. But I just found, guys, I made this 3 times before I settled on this design. And yeah, this does spin a little bit, but that's okay. And I found that with a little bit of the jump ring there, I kind of like that movement a little better. But you can, whatever you prefer. We're going to have 4 of these feathers. And like I said, I got 2 of these. These are from the JJB Pony Express. We have 2 ear wires. I also am bringing in, these are some turquoise Hishi beads, just little guys, little small ones. We are also going to bring in some 8O seed beads, and I'm just using one of these per earring, and this is in the opaque terracotta. And I just thought that was a very pretty Southwestern, you know, like a Southwestern vibe. And to complete our Southwestern vibe, we are bringing in the Softflex in the turquoise color. So, tools-wise, you'll need mostly your, you know, your everyday standard tools. You're going to need some pliers for your jump rings. You're going to need your magical crimping pliers. And you're also going to need... What is on my bead mat? Don't answer that question. It's chocolate, friends, from the Halloween party. Oh, my goodness. You're going to need some cutters. Goodness, call. And also, if you have a Sharpie or any kind of mandrel, I find that this is going to help us with this loop up at the top to keep them even. So I did use this as a measuring tool, and I picked this because it's kind of a common item, right? Most of us have at least one Sharpie somewhere, whether or not it's dried out, like, you know, last year's Reese cups. I don't know, but you probably do have one. Okay, so I'm just going to pick out one of these because, like I said, we're only using one per earring. Now, the first prototype of this that I made, I actually had it all beaded up. So I had busted out Danielle's. She has 2 mixes. She has a 11O and an 8O mix. Oh, I gotta get a ruler. Sorry, guys. In her October project box. And hold on one second. Oh my gosh. And so I grabbed that, and I had originally... Because it kind of has, that bead mix kind of has a Southwestern theme, where it has like some of these terracotta colors. It's got some turquoise, it's got some darker blue, it's got like some copper lined crystal, and a little bit of like travertine on some of them. So what I did was I had done this top loop up here in the 8Os, and then I did the little guys down here with the 11Os, and I didn't love it. I really didn't love it, but guys, you might like it. So if you want to try it with some beads, that's fine. And then the second one I tried, I did a little different, and I used a different color wire, and I was like, it's good, but it's not there yet. And then when I used the turquoise wire, I was like, okay, there it is. I'm happy with this now. So this is what we're going with. So I'm gonna cut about 10 inches. You want about 10 to 11 inches, depending on how long you want them. Because like I said, we are going to be crimping, and we're going to be doing some loops and things. So you're going to need a little, you know, a pretty, modest. You're going to need a pretty, not modest, generous. You're going to need a pretty generous piece. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. But sometimes words are hard. Okay. And by sometimes, I mean always. All right. So first what we're going to do now, and yes, I do still have my Halloween nails because they're just so cute, and they still look fairly decent, and I just love them. So, but probably I'll change them soon. I know. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this wire, and we're going to kind of bend it in half, and we're going to get these 2 ends together. And sometimes I'll just take my cutters, because they're a little bit jaggedy, and I'll just flush them on the angle there, just to kind of help us string our beads on. So first we're going to string on one of these copper crimp tubes, and I did pick the bright copper ones because I thought that was a good vibe. I'm having trouble getting my tubes on today, guys. I'm having a lot of numbness and stuff in my hands from the weather and all the rain, because I have a pretty bad carpal tunnel. All right, so that's on. And now this is kind of important. What you want to do is you kind of want to shimmy your crimp down, but you want to make sure that these are staying next to each other. So you kind of want to shimmy it down and kind of guide it so these wires are next to each other. All right, so we're going to make a loop, and now this is where the Sharpie comes in. I'm going to put this loop around my Sharpie. I'm actually going to bring it down. I already let my wires cross. I was trying to be so diligent about it. There we go. It's very important that your wires aren't crossing. Okay, that's about good. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, and we're going to put this over the Sharpie, and then I'm going to continue to kind of, I know it's hard to see because I have it on the mat, but I'm going to continue to pull that down. A little bit more space, pull it down a little bit more. You don't need to pull it down flush against the Sharpie. You want to have a little bit of room in there because when you crimp, it's going to get a little bit smaller. And I am just going to pull it up just a little bit more. There's going to be just this little bit of gap there. Just, if you can see, just a tiny bit of gap there. Okay. And then, but like I said, most important is holding your wires. So let's get those wires back on track here. There we go. Holding those wires next to each other. That is really the most important part here. Making sure those wires are firmly next to each other. I just can't tell if they're crossing or not. I don't think they are. It's hard to tell. No, they're not. Okay. All right. So we're going to hold that. Okay. And then we're going to crimp. All right. And now I am going to remove the tool, and you'll see you'll have your little box shape. And then I'm going to remove the tool and then put it to its side, but because I don't want to change any, like, sometimes you need to use all of your hands. I don't want to change the direction of anything, and I don't want those wires to cross. So then I'll keep doing that, and I'll form my ball. And then once that crimp is secure, you can take it off of the Sharpie. And then you can just continue that process, making sure that loop is staying forward like that. And our wires are going straight. So this is what we have. And then we can compare. And it should be very similar. This one may be a little bit longer somehow. No, close. I think that's pretty close. I think that's pretty darn close. So that's just a little bit of a measuring tool, which is kind of so we can keep, I mean, you can measure it by eye too, but it's all good. So now we're going to continue to hold these wires straight together. And then we're going to load on our 8/0 seed bead. And 11/0s don't fit on both, so we are using the 8/0s. There we go. Make sure we're keeping those wires together. And then we're going to put on one of our turquoise Hishi beads. And these are about a 3 to 4 millimeter. And then we are going to go ahead and slide our little Southwestern metal dude on there. And then we're going to slide our other Hishi on there. Okay. And then we're going to slide on a second crimp tube. Okay, making sure our wires are nice and vertical. I'm going to go ahead and put that other crimp tube on. Hopefully. Oh no. That's all right, I'll try the next one. Okay. And we're going to slide that guy on. Sorry. It's a little tight. A little tight in there. All right. I didn't think that was ever going to happen. All right, let's slide that up there. And again, let's make sure all of our wires are nice and lined up next to each other. And our loop is facing front. And then we'll go in there and crimp that. No, Mr. Turquoise Hishi. You go, sir. You go. You eat, you go. Okay. 10 bonus points if you know what that's from, guys. You eat, you go. I think I know where it's from. Anyway, so our wires are vertical and our loop is facing us. We're going to deliver that crimp. Try to get it up there as tight as you can. It's still going to spin a little bit, but so there's our box shape. And now we're going to, again, we took our tool completely out. And then I'm going to kind of turn it to its side. If this would stop spinning. And then we're going to get in there and crimp that. That's on the side. And then bring it back to the front, to the side. See, as I'm holding those wires next to each other so we don't lose that. Because that's going to be important for us when we finish the rest of this. Okay. And I'm feeling pretty good about that. So that's what we have. And so now we're going to measure a little bit to the first one. So what we're going to do is we're going to separate these out. And then we are going to put a crimp tube on. And then we're going to take this and we're going to put the other end through, but we're going to make sure we put the other end through so that the loop is also facing us the way the other loop is. So we're going to keep that loops going open that way, because I want all of my loops going in the same direction. It's just, it's a aesthetic that I like. You can do what you want. Now you can also, here at this point is, I use jump rings in mine. So you can just go ahead and attach your, whatever you're attaching right there. But I did like the look of jump rings. So I'm just kind of just playing around with the loop size and the distance, making sure our loops are both facing the same direction. So let's go in here and see about where that first one is. So there's about that much space. Okay. Let me pull that up just a little bit more. And then we'll make that loop a little bit smaller just by pulling that wire, right? Let's see. Maybe that a little bit. I think I might have went a little too far up. Let's pull that down a little bit. Okay. Now let's see where we're at. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and crimp that. And again, I'm going to hold all of this. So all of my loops are going to be facing the same direction when we crimp this. So I'm going to lay this wire down here and I'm going to hold this like that with my thumb. And then we're going to make sure that we crimp. Oh, hold on. This wire's twisted a little bit. I'm going to take this wire to the back, actually. Or am I? No, let's crimp it to the back. Okay, that's better. Yeah, so we're going to run that wire to the back. That'll be better. But again, making sure that's front facing. And then we're going to crimp. Also, make sure you're not crimping this guy. Just with your other 7 fingers, just go ahead and hold him so we're not crimping him, because that can damage your wire. Okay, so we're going to get in here. There we go. And making sure everybody is on the same direction and crimping. Okay, now I'm going to remove the tool. Come on. Oh, it's stuck. Okay, there's our little square shape. That loop is, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the tool itself. I'm not going to turn the wire. I'm just going to turn the tool and then deliver that second crimp. And then I'm going to take the tool off and deliver another little smooshy. Delivering all of our smooshies, keeping that little loop facing us. And I think that's going to be good. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. And then we're going to take this excess wire, and I did cut myself a lot. But guys, I like to have leverage. Sometimes you want to have leverage, right? So if you have a little extra wire, and I'm pulling this really taut and cutting, okay, because we don't want any scraps sticking out. All right, so that's what we have, right? Our loop's going in the same direction. So we're going to do the same thing with this. Now I don't need to measure this anymore because I actually am going to measure this one by the existing one. Okay, so we're going to drop that crimp tube on, and then we're going to hold everything a little bit sideways. So then we're going to take this wire, making sure that that loop is facing us, and put it in there. All right. All right. So how I measure this one is I'm going to take the crimp up a little bit here. I want this one to be, I want the crimp to be right, see where this crimp is, and then the loop is right above it. So I want the crimp to be a little bit right below the bottom of that loop, right? So here's the bottom of that loop. Just a little bit down, a little bit more. Okay, so right about where the bottom of that loop is, that's where we want to crimp this one. So I'm going to hold this so I don't lose that spot, and then I'm just going to pull this so we make that loop smaller. Okay, And you can readjust how you see, like how you see it. And then again, we're going to take this wire behind, and then we're going to hold everything front facing. So we know this is going to crimp going that way. And try to make sure your wires aren't too crossed, and this one's a little crossed. Is that better? Okay. Sometimes you just have to be aware of where everything is, you know. Okay, that looks good. So we're going to go ahead, put our plier in there. Is it that small? I feel like that's going to be a really tiny loop. Let me just this loop, just a skotion. Okay, that's a little better. All right. I know, guys, I am very particular. I am, for sure. All right. And that crimp tube is right where that loop is. It's like, just pull down just a tiny bit. There we go. Right? It's in there. It's in there like Prego. Crimp it. Just crimp it. There's your cute little ravioli square star, I don't know. It's not starfish. What is that I was saying? Stingray, little square ravioli stingray guy. I don't know. I saw a meme one time and it reminded me of it. Okay, so again, we're making sure that we are keeping those loops front facing. It was like a little baby stingray or something, but it looked like a little ravioli. And every time I say, look at this ravioli, I always think of it. It was like square shaped though. It was really bizarre, but that's what little baby starfish, not starfish, you know, the things, the glide, what are they called? Seriously, not starfish, stingrays. Yeah, I think I might have said that already. Stingrays. All right. So again, we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring this and we're going to hold it taut and do that cut. And then we can just kind of straighten that out a little bit. All right. So there we have our front facing. All of our loops are front facing. This one's a little over here, but that's all right. You can just kind of guide him over a little bit. Sir, you don't have to be over on that side. Look, that's all. Just need a little convincing. Now, what I want to do before I put on our feathers is I do want to mirror this. So I want the smaller feathers on the inside, and that's perfect. That's how we want it. So I'm going to put my ear wire on first. You know, because I want that to tell our direction, and then we'll do the rest. Oh, where are my little pliers? And you guys know I like to use these lever backs on when I just do bead stringing wire, because it's really hard for that to escape this guy. Right, so we're going to go ahead, and this is going to go on this way, so they will mirror each other, because they are best friends. There we go. And now we can put our feathers on, and the feathers are double-sided. So that makes that, oh, we don't need to use this one. We can use it. Oh yeah, I guess we'll use that one. Sorry, guys. I forgot. I like to use these on the smaller jump rings. Oh, you know what it is, guys? Remember we were talking about oiling these and WD, whatever. My husband said it was the spring. He said the spring fell out of place or something, and that's why they're... Listen, they literally, these were like $7.99 from Harbor Freight. But they're like, I love these pliers. But it kind of gives me incentive, you guys, to go get some Zoran needle nose pliers, because those are really nice. Because I like to have at least like one plier that has a nice thin mandrel. Because like, look at the difference here. I know we're going a little off topic, but that's a big difference, right? That's a big difference. All right, let's put our second ear wire on. Guys, this is probably my shortest video in like 2 years, okay? It's all right, though. It's all right. Tomorrow, I already know what I'm doing. So, guys, tomorrow, I have some packages over here on my desk that I was going to open tonight. But I think I will save them for tomorrow. We have our bargain bee box. Guys, remember they did the trick-or-treat one where if you ordered so much, you get a trick-or-treat bag? That came in on Saturday. And then today, my Gemstone Orphanage yard sale stuff came in. So I got lots of beautiful things to look at tomorrow. And guys, speaking about beautiful things, we are done. We are done. Look at those. I love them. Do I have to bring you guys down? Nope, that's Upcaw. They are the coolest. They're so Southwestern. They're so like, yeah, I don't know. I just think they're pretty cool. So guys, let me know what you think. This is for our Softflex Joyful Beading. This is for today's prompt, mixed metals, and I think we hit that one with the mixed metals. This one definitely has all kinds of mixed metals going on. All right, my friends, I should have just left it alone. I always got to touch stuff and muss around and fuss. You see what I did? I was wondering why one was a little bit longer, you guys. I forgot. Look, I made a oh, there you are. I made a boo-boo. Look, I made a boo-boo. Now I got to redo this earring again. Well, I'm not going to redo it with you guys, but I did miss a bead. You're right, Clara. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I didn't hear you. But I'm going to go ahead and fix that, and then I'm going to post these pictures in the VIB group. Again, guys, I will leave all of that information in the description box, so you guys go ahead and check that out. And yeah, and follow along with us and have some fun. It's a great way to get into your stash. Even if you're limited on your Softflex, guys, not every prompt is Softflex. Like you can, there's other things you can do. Like this said mixed metals. It didn't say use Softflex. I just chose to do that. But yeah, so check that out and have fun. Have fun with your beads, friends. Have fun with your beads. That's what it's all about, right? Get creative. Have a great time. Do all the things. Until next time, my loves. Bye.